Great day, great day. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Dispute Panda community. For y'all that are new, it's your girl, Raquel May David. I am here to help you become a beast in these credit streets. And I have my co-host, David Sanchez. We were meant to be. Just in case y'all didn't know. Just in case y'all didn't know. So we are here to make sure that you guys can learn how to dip and do with this amazing software. We normally go ahead and allow the first 5 to 10 minutes for any questions, concerns, or comments that any of the new users will have. And as you can see on the lovely screen right now is the Dispute Panda community. So if you guys are new to the room and are not aware of the community, I need you guys to pump your brakes, check the chat. We're about to drop the link as to where you can sign up for the Dispute Panda community. So we are not on a book. We're not on a gram. I am on the gram. I am on the book. But if you want to know exclusive content about what's going on, if there are any issues or schisms, if you want to watch the live or gain access to the YouTube channel, all of it is available on the Dispute Panda community. So thank you for y'all coming into the room. I see a couple of new names here. Hey, Brittany. Hey, Charisma. Hey, Kimberly. Hey, KJ. Hey, Monique. Hey, wait, this is Cody. I like that name. Hey, Julius. Hey, Judy B. Peace. I see that there's a phone number in here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys are by your computer and able to turn on your cameras, great. Let's dip and do together. If you guys are unable to do that, that is completely fine. But if you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, I'm going to open the floor for you guys to be able to ask them, because we want to make sure that we get those questions out the way before we deep sea dive into what we're getting into on today. Any questions, concerns, comments for the new people in the room?
Yes, I have a question.
Hey, what question do you have today?
I've been getting letters back from when I'm sending the disputes through Dispute Panda back saying that basically it looks like someone else sent this letter and we're unable to verify it, basically.
And what's your question?
So is there a way to combat that? Like, should I just print it out myself and send it? Because if it's been sent with the ID and all of the bill information and stuff like that, I don't want to keep getting those same types of responses.
That is a great question. So what I'm going to ask are 2 questions. Is this your first time on our call?
Yes.
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome to the room. I like to ask so that I can know like what level everyone is at. So thank you so much for coming in and asking that question. So in essence, guys, what our caller is asking about today is he sent out letters to the credit bureau and they have responded with a stall letter that basically says, hey, it looks like someone else is sending this information, or it looks like it's a third-party service. So because of that, we have not process your disputes. So 2 things that I want to, so 1, I'm going to answer the question, and 2, I'm going to give you guys some facts, because, you know, I like y'all coming in here and getting the source, the facts, the grains, right? So facts are that there's nothing stated in the Fair Credit Reporting Act or any law that says that you cannot have someone else support you with credit repair, which means if you need help and if you have to hire someone to help assist you with that, there is no law that is written saying that you are not able to get help for credit repair. That's number 1. Number 2, that is a stall tactic. So if you receive the letter and you have the letter, let's say you sent out the letter on day 1, on day 7, you got that stall letter back from the credit bureau. Immediately, what I want you to do is to go to the static letters that are located in your file. So I'm going to go to a client and kind of walk you guys through as to where you can find this. But you would go to the attack and you would go to start round. You would click static letters and you will go to stall letter. This right here is the actual code that says you have no right to not dispute my file, whether I am doing it or a third-party person is doing it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you would click on this button here. Now I know you're on the phone, so don't worry. This is on the replay. So if you go to the YouTube channel for Dispute Panda, I cover stalls in every single call. You can find it there. But what I want you to know is that you would go to the actual attack under the client that's having this. So if it's you, you would go to your attack flow. You would click on attack. You would go to start new round. And then you would go scroll down to the bottom under static letters. When you're in static letters, you're going to click on stall. In that option, it's going to ask you, what was the date you sent the dispute? You're going to put the original date that you printed and mailed off that dispute. You're going to print this letter off, and you are then going to go ahead and attach it to the original dispute you made. Now, again, that is if you got that letter and you're responding within a 5 to 7 day window. If you are outside of 14 days, so that letter came, 2 weeks has passed, do not do a stall letter. It doesn't matter at this time. What you're going to do, I do things a little bit differently. So as you guys will hear, I do have a different flow with mine. I send an announcement letter, which is basically a preemptive strike to the stall letter that says, hey, y'all, I know y'all gonna run this play. Let's not do this. Here's the ID. Here's the information. Let's get into it, right? But if you guys are getting these stall letters, the response that you need is located in the static letters. And as long as you have at least $1 in your account, it is completely free. Okay, so you can go to the static letters in your attack round, click stall, you put the date that you send the original dispute. Goal and press time is that within I would say anything outside of 14 days, just do the next round of letters, send off your identification, and call it done. Does that make sense?
Yep, got it.
All right. Great questions. Anyone else? Do you have another questions for me, my love? I'm gonna go. Okay, he may not have another question. Does anyone else have any other questions that you would
Yes,
like?
I have a quick question.
Hey, Kimberly girl, what's up? What question you got today?
Hi. So I am new and I did do my first round of attacks. So my question for you is, when I sent the round of attacks out, when they respond, will it come back into Dispute Panda? Or does it like get mailed? Like how does the responses come in? Should I be checking Dispute Panda for the responses for the
That's a
attack
great question. That is a great question, and no one has ever asked that. So thanks for coming with a new one, boo. So the answer to the question is the letters get mailed to the information that's on the form. So when you are printing out your letters, if you go to profile here, this address information that you're putting in the system, when the letters get generated, that's who they're going to respond to. Now, some of the credit bureaus will send you the information via email. So I do tell my clients sometimes check your email, but it's either going to be by mail or you're going to get an email response. Great question. So no, you never get a response with Dispute Panda. Dispute Panda is just a software that will allow you to generate the letters. It will mail the letters for you, but the return address that's listed on there is where if you're telling the system to send the letters out, the return address, which is your address that should be notated, is what they're going to reply back to, or the address that's literally on the letter. Because some people use the address of the actual credit bureau as the return address label. That's a great hack if for some reason you didn't have enough stamps on the envelope that you had. Instead of them sending it to you, they'll send it back to the actual credit bureau, so they will still get the letter no matter what. But the answer to the question is the letters come back to you. They do not go in the system. Great question, Kimberly. Did you have another one?
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm doing this right. So when I do the attacks and the letters are generated, I just want to make sure, am I printing these letters out and sending them out myself, or is Dispute Panda actually, when I hit certified and I pay to have it sent out, they're actually sending it out?
Correct. When you're clicking mail them out and you're telling the system to mail it out, it is mailing the letter out for you. If you do first class mail, which the new flow that we have, you do not have to certify anything. All you have to do is send it first class mail. If you choose to certify it, that's fine. But yes, if you pay what you weigh for it to be mailed, the system is going to mail it out for you. You got it.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions, guys? Want to make sure. Oh, let me see if there's anything in the chat. Thanks for dropping the links in the chat, y'all. So if you guys are new here, there is a Dispute Panda Facebook, but we don't, again, if you want to know about what's going on with the system, you want in-depth conversation, we are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, but that's for like content. If you want to know what's going on with the platform, I'm going to tell you guys, you definitely want to come to the Dispute Panda community. Customer service is there. Our wonderful admin JM is there. The Dispute Panda squad, support squad, who is here 24 hours a day, is also on there. So if you want educational stuff, you can definitely, little funny tips and any tool updates, it is on there. But if you want to know something's going on for real, for sure, you want to come here and see the information. All right, so we are at 11 minutes. No further questions, comments, or questions we got to answer. Everybody's good for us to get started? All right. So you guys have come today to let me go ahead and close this out because I'll check back in here later. All right, so you guys are here to talk about the world's most advanced and effective AI credit repair software that is pay as you go. So what that means is instead of you guys having to pay monthly for a software, you are only paying whenever you are electing to generate a letter. So I am going to teach you guys on tonight how to do a free round of disputes, which means instead of you paying that $17 a month, if you are using Smart Credit, MyScoreIQ, Identity IQ, instead of using those softwares, you can actually go ahead and get a free round of disputes. And I am going to show you how to do it on today. All right. What I like to do is I like to cover the pricing so that you guys kind of know the pricing structure. Well, not kind of, you guys will definitely know the pricing structure. We are going to not cover the pro or the integration until we get into the software so you can see the isms and schisms and how it works out for you. And then from there, we are going to dive into the training, the contact, and then we are going to open the floor if you guys have any questions on what I've covered. And then once we are done with that, we are going to go ahead and sign up for an account. And we are going to load a client in, process the first round of disputes. So when you are done today, if you guys have questions or concerns, you can definitely let me know. But we are going to show you how to use the software start to finish. So if you are here today and you have not sent out your first round, unlike my big homie Kimberly, if y'all have not sent out your first round, you will have the ability to do so momentarily. So give me 1 second. Let me get my lighting together. Let me see if that kind of helps a little bit because I'm looking like a real marshmallow, y'all. Hold on 1 second. That video. All right. So what I wanted to go ahead and cover in the beginning is pricing. So as I stated earlier, Dispute Panda is a pay-as-you-go software. What that means is you do not have a monthly cost to have the actual free version of Dispute Panda. When you have the Dispute Panda platform, you have the ability to come in and every single month per client, you can pay $17 if they're using MyScoreIQ, Smart Credit, or Identity IQ as their credit monitoring service, which means you don't have to worry about paying for the software and then paying for the platform if you are doing it for your friends, your family, and you are a beginner, right? You don't have to worry about that. You can collect the information, draft the letters. If you want the system to mail the letters out for you, as we said earlier, you have the ability to do that. Now, if you are wanting to do this as a business and you want a safe client access portal, you want to have the ability to integrate your merchant services to collect payments, you want payment onboarding forms and all of the bells and whistles to that particular portion, as well as contracts, you can go ahead and upgrade to the Pro. The Pro is $1 for 14 days, and thereafter it's $197. I am going to show you some perks within the Pro once we get into the system. However, you do not necessarily have to get the Pro right away. I tell everyone, if you do not have a full client base that can pay for the monthly service by itself, then I would tell you, you can still use the free. The benefits to the Pro is all of what I mentioned, plus you get another layer of attack if you're using the Credit Dino credit monitoring software that I'm going to be talking to you about today. Okay. If you pay for it for a year in advance, you pay $1,970 and you get 2 months for free. So again, on tonight, we are going to cover the free platform. We're going to highlight some of the pro stuff, but you get to utilize a system, again, pay as you go, and we're going to dive in on some of the amazing benefits of having this platform. So a lot of systems give you a system and they're like, hey, you can get these letters, you can use these letters and you can send it out. But if you're new to credit repair, you're not quite clear on what letters are going to be working or what flow you should be using. We have the answer for you. So when you come in, if you click on this training tab, and I go over this on every class, the first thing I want you to do is not scroll down. Now, I love the fact that people scroll down, watch the videos, honey, because I'm only here Monday, Wednesday, and what? Thursday. Okay. So if you need help, Friday at 2:00 in the morning, unless I drop a Zoom link in the community, because I am up as well, you guys got to wait till I come back on when? Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. But this is great content. But if you're just getting started, the first thing I need you to do is click on this free download. This free download is giving you the most effective strategy that we have tested and proven to be successful, whether your client has repo, charge off, collections, bankruptcies, child support. Okay. This flow is flowing and we want you to take advantage of said flow. In order to do so, you have to know where to find it. So again, if you click on the training tab, whether you're in the platform or you're on the main screen, at the very top, where it says free download, you're going to click it. It is going to open up this attack. Now, there are a lot of people who have been with the software for a while. I have been with the software for a while. I use the old attack flows that have blue and red and all of the wonderful colors, right? The reason that we had this one was to streamline it, and because clients were asking, do I have to send my letters certified mail? When do I send the letters to the secondary bureau? When do I file a CFPB complaint? So what did we do? We put all that information here for you to have accessibility to it in real time. Okay, guys? So I don't want you to feel discouraged as you're going through the system. Utilize the tools that we have available, and under the training section, free download, you get it there. Okay. Of course, you can have the full training. You can see all the videos. You can figure out how to get started. You can also do the disputing. It is completely up to you. And it also takes you to the information on how you do the mailing system. Okay, guys? One-stop shop. We want to make sure you have everything that you need. Now, if for some reason there is an ism or a schism that took place, okay, and when it took place, you are not able to get what it is that you needed, what I want you guys to know is that this contact tab is available for you in real time. The contact tab allows you to have the ability to reach out to customer service to answer any questions you may have on the software itself. You can go ahead and load it with the customer's information. If you have a document loading issue, a round issue, no matter what it is, you can literally put it in here, and you can also put the client's information here. So you're going to put your information, the email that you have signed up for Dispute Panda, and then you're going to put what the ism or schism is. Now, what I want to point out is I like giving y'all free 99 stuff. So whenever y'all come and pull up to this club, that is my goal, is to help you lower your overhead as well as give you really good tools that'll help you either make money or be really aggressive and come off as polished as possible as you guys are doing this credit journey, right? So there is a software out there called loom.com, LOOM.com. I dropped it in the chat. You guys can click on it. It is a free platform. Now, again, you can purchase it, but again, I like free 99. Okay. So when you get this software, it gives you the ability to record up to a 5-minute video. With that 5-minute video, you get a shareable link, and you can drop the link right here in the explanation of what's going on. So instead of you just saying, hey, I'm having a problem integrating something, or I'm having a problem uploading something, you can legit record the video showing them exactly what you're trying to do and the errors that you're getting. And then what will end up happening is once they click on the video, you are notified that that video has been watched. So if you are needing help, whether it's if you, okay, we're building out our brand, right? So whether you're starting at the starting point, you're talking to customer service, or you're talking to your VA, Loom is a free product that gives you 5 minutes to go ahead and have conversation, right? And you know when someone's watched it, so they can't say, oh, I didn't get to it. You know they did. And if they didn't watch it, you also know they didn't watch it. All right. So this is just a great tool that you can leverage. If you want to have general questions, like I want to be a part of the beta team, I want to have press coverage, I want to dip and do with your club, you can go ahead and put that in and it will get segmented to the right team. Again, customer service is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So whether you have a specific needs, you can go here, or you can send them a message at info@Dispute Panda. Or if you guys are in the community, you can post the message here on the community as well. All right. So before I start, do we have any questions on what we've just covered? And I just kind of like, if you guys can come off of mute or drop it in the comments, how many people have actually downloaded the attack guide and have it on their person? They knew it was there. They got it. How many people? Y'all can drop it in the chat. Y'all can come off of mute. Ariel says me. So Ariel, do you have a question or are you just raising your hand? Because I'm okay with both. Indigo says me. Okay, good, good, good. Do you have a question, Ariel, or were you just saying you got it? Thanks, Kimberly. Okay, so I have the attack. Great, great, great. I love the fact that you have it. So for those of you guys that did not comment, did not raise your hand, did not come off of mute, I'm going to show y'all one more again. Click on the training, click on free download. It is going to tell you, what are you doing in round 1? What are you doing in round 2? What are you doing in round 3? Number one question I get asked, I'm going to answer the question now, is does it take 12 months? I'm going to say this. Every single credit file is like a snowflake, okay? So we are not saying that it's going to take 12 months. We are not saying it's going to take 18 months. We are saying that because you are new and we're learning how to pivot and shift, what we want to give you is the ability to process up to 12 months. If your client or you reach your credit goal within 6 months, 3 months, 8 months, great. But we wanted you to have a full 12 months rounds of attack so that way you can have the most massive impact and while you're pivoting and learning, okay? So not everyone stays for 12 months. The average time is 6 to 8 months that a person stays in the credit program, but again, and it depends on what their profile is. And also, guys, your letters is one thing and their behaviors is another. So I want to make sure that we're clear that credit repair is a double-sided coin. Just like there's not just one side to a piece of paper, there's not one side to credit repair, right? All right. So great, great, great. Thank you guys for the participation in the chat. I am going to drop my email in here. Kimberly, well, I'm going to send my email to Kimberly, Ariel, and that's Cody. Kimberly, Ariel, Indigo, and that's Cody. I'm going to send you guys my email for participating. I'm going to give you guys a free lead magnet that you guys can share out on your platform. So thank you guys so much for coming in and interacting with me. Okay. So let's see if we can keep this going. Hang on one second. I want to make sure that I gift away, y'all. Okay. So y'all need to come to this club because every now and then in this club, I like to give away freebies for all of those that sit and participate. So Ariel, I think I sent it to you. Kimberly, I believe I sent it to you. That's Cody. I sent it to you. And we're going to see how the rest of the day goes. You never know. You never know. Hey, Sammy, you're welcome. You're welcome. Just please shoot me free lead magnet from Dispute Panda Call. I will go ahead and make sure to reply tonight before I go to bed. I will send you guys the lead magnet. If you guys have Canva, you guys can edit it for the free 99. And I just wanted to say thank you for participating. So keep it up, y'all. Keep it up. You never know. I might give away something else for free later on today. So Sammy said, which letter and or USC code we have to use for charge off? So the answer to the question is the letters that you have are going to in the flow. So back up. Sammy, did you download the actual attack guide? That's the first question I need to ask. If you can let me know, that'd be great. So if you download the attack, okay. So when you come into the Dispute Panda platform, if you click on training, there's an option to do a free download. The download is going to give you the attack guide for which letters you need to select. The letters that are in the attack flow are going to help you whether you have charge off, repo, bankruptcy, child support, no matter what your client has, it's going to help you with that. So I wanted to know if you downloaded the guide. So if you have not, you need to click on training, click on free download, and then you are able to go ahead and click in the file. I have many codes that I use. So what I will tell you is this letter flow will help with your charge off on your accounts. Even though it's the same flow, I promise you it's not going to be the same letter because the AI software compiles the letter according to the information that is pulled from the credit report. So the step one is to download the guide. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you to be able to get it just in case you guys are not able to kind of like click away. I want you guys to have it. I've gone through the videos, but I will download the guide. Awesome. The guide is going to be your starting point because it's going to help you on what letters you're going to pick. I'm going to tell you guys that one of the number one things I tell all my mentees, all of the people that talk to me about credit repair, is track. Whatever letter you send out, I don't care if you're using your own flow, you're creating your own stuff because you're using your own file. I'm going to tell y'all 1000%. The number one thing that you want to do is track what you got off from the last round. Was it an inquiry? If it was an inquiry, who was the inquiry for? Like that is going to help you really pivot and figure out what is going to be beneficial when you have another client that comes in that has the same account. So when I say the same account, like they have a Santander, it's a charge off, things of that nature, you are able to go ahead and say, okay, I know that I've been able to get Santander off by round 3 once I've done this flow, and this flow. So track what you're doing. It's definitely going to help. So if you've already sent out a round of letters, that's great. Write down what that letter is. You can use Google Sheets and make a form. The people in my mentorship, they're actually getting the form when we go live on May 17th so that they'll be able to track their information as well. Mr. Smith says you can dispute secondary bureaus as well. That is correct. So on the flow, it's telling you when you should be disputing the secondary bureaus. What I want to point out is once you find out the client does not have a file with that secondary bureau, just don't send a letter to them. That's it. That's all. Just don't send a dispute letter to them. All right. But yes, you can do that. I'm starting with repairing my own credit first before I try doing this as a business. So if I have paid charge offs or collections, am I still able to get them removed? So I'm going to say something that is very controversial, but I'm here. For me, in my experience, and I've been doing credit repair on and off for 19 years, I'm going to be completely transparent for you. It is a lot easier for me to get paid off debt than open debt off of the profile. So if your client has paid the charge off, they have paid the collection, number one, it's no longer impacting them negatively moving forward because it's not an open collection. So that is definitely going to help as they move forward and they start building on their credit. But number two, it is a lot easier when you're going through the dispute round because the debt is now paid off for them to help find the codes to remove. Now, let's bear in mind, credit repair are two things. Your goal is to get a clean file. And the second thing is for you to leverage the letters to remove anything out of date, in error, or erroneous. If it don't qualify for those things, guys, it still possibly could stay on the credit report, right? I'm not saying I've gotten student loans off. That debt's still there, right? It's just not showing up on the report in its entirety. So to answer your question, yes, if it's paid charge off, it's paid collections, it does help with getting it removed from the and you said what is so if you have a Google account, Google has different In the Drive folder, you can actually have a Google Forms, you can have Google Sheets. So instead of you paying for like Microsoft or Excel, you can use that free 99 platform since Google is already for free and it gives you there. So that way, every single month, you can just log in and kind of track what letter you sent, what was removed. If nothing was removed, then you know that may not be a productive letter for your particular file. So now if you get someone who has a similar file to you, for instance, I don't have any bankruptcies, I don't have any repos, on my personal profile. In the past, I have had charge off, I have had collections, right? So if I'm dealing with someone who looks more, their profile looks more like me, I will know, okay, I'm not going to do, let's say, letter 2, because I know letter 2 didn't really gain me any results. I'm going to do round 1 and then I'm going to go round 3 because I've tracked what I've done, right? So you can kind of like do the build out that way so that as you're building your platform and working on your profile, you have the ability to see what's going to leverage you more effectiveness and efficiency while you're working on your files. Mr. Smith, I have closed accounts in good standings paid off. I should keep them on right. So the system will not allow you to dispute an account that is in good standing. So if the account is closed and there was no late payments, there was no issues, the system is not going to register for you to dispute it all. So if you hang tight, I'll show you that in a second so you can see what I'm talking about. But to answer your question, the system will not check it off. You would have to manually check it off. So if the account is in good standings, you paid in full, and it's just no longer open, there's nothing to be disputed. Does that make sense? All right, all right, all right. Any other? Oh, David also dropped in the chat the attack flow. So they have the old attack flow, the new attack flow. Completely up to you. It is my pleasure, Mr. Smith. All right, all right, all right. Thank you. I was recently offered the ability from Chase to pay 30% of the balance. So the debt, and they said I can pay $480 to get rid of it. I want to take the offer. So that's a little bit outside of the scope of the conversation here today, because I would need a little bit more context and also have a little bit more questions. What I can do is I can drop the booking link. I do agree that if you have the ability to settle the debt, definitely take advantage of it. Like if you have the capital there, dip and do, okay? But you wanna also make sure that certain boxes are checked. So is the debt still in the debt collectability window? So a lot of things that we don't pay attention is, yes, the debt can stay on your credit report for up to 7 years, but in the state of Texas, it's only collectible, I think it's 3 or 4 years. So outside of that window, they can't pursue you, they can't garnish your check, they can't do anything. It's just going to be a negative debt that's there. Now, if you want to salvage the relationship with that particular creditor, that might be an option, okay, for you to go ahead and leverage. So again, it's a nuanced question, but I am going to drop my booking link if you guys want a deep sea dive into your own profile. I will drop that here for you as well. And that way, if you have a client that you want to review or anything like that, we can talk about it. But yes, I love doing settlement options. To me, it has nothing to do if it's with the original debt collector or not. My question is the debt still collectible? If it's still within the window, because I live in the state of Texas, if it's still within that window where you can garnish me and we can settle the debt, and I know I'm never going to come back to you because I have great relationships elsewhere and I'm never going to want that card, then that's fine. Those are other things that you also want to think about when we're talking about settlements with our clients. Yes, if you're talking to your clients, is a settlement sometimes with certain vendors means you can never come back to them. Okay, so that means that if in 10 years they may have a really great program, you may not be able to take advantage of that program because of the fact that you had settled the debt with that provider. The number one company that comes to mind is Amex. If you settle with Amex, they ain't playing with you. You can't come to their band camp. You can't come to their pool. You can't pull up to the club at all, point blank, period. Mr. Smith, yes, I still do credit repair myself. I have like, I think I have right now, I only have 20 active clients. I graduated about, I want to say 10 last month. So I do, because I do it myself. It's myself, my husband, and my daughter, and I do have a 9 to 5. I'm very particular, the clients that I take in, I'm very much a boutique style. So yeah, I'm probably not going to be that boutique going forward, but yes, I still do credit repair. I have a few clients that are still very active right now. I've closed last year, I was able to get 37 clients into a home. So that was my number one. Like, I love that. And I was able to get 10 clients new cars. But my praise is not the item that they got. The praise that I have is those same clients still have a good credit score. Those same clients understand the principle of credit repair. So they know what the FICO score makeup is, and they are dipping and doing and following the plan that I gave them when they were going through my program. So that is the win. The house is great, but the fact that they credit score is still crediting. Okay, y'all. I love it. Is there a listing on specific lenders who will not allow you to come back if you settle? In my mentorship program, I do provide that information. I don't know if there's a specific place. That is something that I kind of collected, just like I have a list of companies that automatically do pay per delete. Not every company does it. That is a list that I also provide to my mentorship. But that's a great question. That's something that you might be able to Google it. This is gonna be clear. The mentorship program, I can drop the link if you guys want to sign up for the membership, the mentorship program. I gotta figure out where it's at, y'all. I'm gonna grab the link because we're still building out the landing page, but I do have the form available. So I will go ahead and drop it in a second so you guys can have it. And if anyone wants to sign up, again, you guys come into my Facebook group. It's really, really dope. And we can see, like, we have a bunch of challenges and everything going on. So y'all gonna have fun. If Amex was fraud on your account, how do you get in if they don't bother with you? So that is an exception to the rule. If you have proven to Amex that it's a fraud situation, then there's really not that big of an issue with you going back to them. But I want to be clear on how they're going to look at the form. Real quick. So to answer that question real quick is, if you have proven that it was a fraudulent situation and that you were not the one who actually signed the contract, you were not the one who used it, things of that nature, then yes, Amex will allow you to pull back up to the club. If you do not have the ability to have that proof, then no, you would not have accessibility to that. Okay, great question. Great question. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to. Is this it? Oh, here you go. Okay. So I have the payment section. The landing page should be live within the next week because I want to make sure that the course is built out. So the course is almost complete. That's the part I love. So that we can get into it. All right. So any other questions before I dive into signing up for the free platform? Welcome, welcome, welcome. I see Drive LLC. Hey, Kimberly, you can go ahead and raise your hand, girlfriend. What's up? What's up? How can I help? Sorry.
Okay, real quick, because I know it's going to be too long to type it. So I just have
No
a quick
problem.
question. And this may be like the scope of what you're discussing, but I just thought about it. When you're doing statute of limitations, right? And I know you got to go by the state, and if it is 7 years or whatnot, I know in Dispute Panda, in those little blocks, when you put your credit report in there, it's like 3 different dates. What date? And I know this also, you got to make sure that you have not made a payment. Like if it went for a couple years, you got to ensure that you didn't just go back after 5 years and start making payments, because then the statute of limitations starts over. So my question is, what date are we going by as far as counting off for the statute of limitations? Because there's like 3 different dates in Dispute Panda when you pull up your credit report.
That's a great question. That's a great question. So you are going to go by the date that it charged off the file. I would have to visually see for me to tell you which one on the block it is, if I'm able to see it when I pull in that particular client's file, because I don't know if the client's file I'm going to pull in is going to have it. But you would go by the charge off date, because that's the date that is going to be like, hey, on this time we deem that you are no longer collectible. So I want to explain the difference. Collections means that you are past due. We expect that you are going to make that payment. We think, we hope, we pray that you're going to get caught back up. That's collections. That's what it means when you're with the primary person. Once you go to charge off, they have deemed that you are not going to pay that debt. Normally that hits once you're outside of that 120 window. Is when you're going to charge off. So when I used to work for Chase Collections Department. When you hit 180 days, that's when we figured you are no longer going to be concerned about the debt and you were not going to pay. So we would tell clients, if you don't want the account to go charge off or you don't want it to close, the close day was at 120 days. We would tell them to pay per bucket. So pay the original bill that was due at day 30 or pay the original bill that was due at day 60. That will restart your clock and give you a little bit more time to try and get your monies together if you can't pay the whole thing to get it caught back up, right? So the same principle is true when you're talking about when did that clocker start, is when that account went into charge-off status, is what you'd be looking for.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? My pleasure, my love.
Yes.
Any other questions for me?
No, because I'll keep coming with question after question, so I'm gonna keep listening.
No problem. Mrs. Smith, you're up next. How can I help? What questions do you have?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I went for business funding and a minute ago, but they was able to go through LexisNexis and
Mm-hmm.
see. I think I had filed for bankruptcy, but never went through with it, and
Mm-hmm.
they was able to see almost everything as far as
Mm-hmm.
if I had any claims with insurance or all and stuff like that. How
Mm-hmm.
do I would Dispute Panda help with me even getting the insurance stuff off and all that stuff as well?
So that's a great thing. So for those of you guys that are in the room, LexisNexis, I call Big Brother in the Sky. I used to work for Chase. I worked for Bank of America. I worked for PNC. I worked for Wells Fargo. And all of them leverage your LexisNexis profile. Your LexisNexis holds your driving record. They hold your criminal record. They hold your relationship record. Like, they had my ex-husband on there. I was like, please take him off, please, because you don't want to call him. Okay. So to answer your question, they will go ahead and dispute what's seen on the credit profile only
Okay.
to the secondary bureaus. Now, you can go ahead and dispute your profile with the insurance company. I have been a bodily injury adjuster for the last few years. I've been in the insurance space now for a little over 7 years. So I do know for a fact that you can dispute your clue report. You can dispute your arrest record. You can even expunge your own record, and you can leverage LexisNexis to help you do that. However, the credit profile that you're using, it's only going to dispute what's on the credit report. So if you're wanting to go ahead and dispute anything that's additional that is on LexisNexis, you're going to have to write letters specifically for those items in order to get it disputed. So Dispute Panda will only dispute what's showing up on the credit report, not anything else. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. And
Got it.
just to closing, and I had a foreclosure as well. It doesn't show. I got it off my credit,
Mm-hmm.
but it shows on the secondary, so
Yep.
that'll help too.
Yep.
Okay.
And there are, if you're talking about repos have like 8 or 9 different houses where secondary bureaus have their information. When we're talking about foreclosure, bankruptcy has about, I think, 7 to 14 different places that they have. So when you're talking about your profile and your client has something, I always request the reports from all of those places so I can see where it is, because I'm going to give you guys a really great example. I left the company that I was originally working for as an injury adjuster, and I went to a new company. The new company that I went to pulled my information from a company called HireRight. HireRight had my address from when I came to America and got my residential alien card and all my paperwork and ting, right? It had that address still on there. Now, I had gone through all of the secondary bureaus. I thought I got HireRight together, and guess what? HireRight is the only one that's holding on to it. HireRight and LexisNexis still have my childhood address. I'm not fighting them anymore. I loved 19 Lloyd Street, but that when I got that report, I was able to see that particular report still had my ex-husband's name on it. You know, different, like the name that I was using when I was married with him, it still had those types of information. So when you're cleaning up your client's profile, you want to make sure that you're hitting all of the spaces. I never did HireRight because a lot of times where I worked, they never pulled those files. So I was only concerned with like the LexisNexis, the Innovis, the Factor Trust, because I knew a lot of the company, given the field that I was in, they were always pulling from those files. but you can go ahead and that's an a la carte item that you can say, I'll help you clean up your employment record. I can help you clean up your secondary report with this particular area, and you can make additional funds just from doing that, right? So yeah. And you can have my info. I'll drop my link in the chat if you guys want to link up with me, and I'm everywhere in these streets. My name with a C. You can find me. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Smith?
I had it, but I forgot. So I'll put it in the
My
chat
bad.
so it'll come back
And
up. No problem.
when you catch it, just pull back up, because I'm about to start typing, and you can pull back up. Just, you don't even have to raise your hand. Just come off and be like, I remembered.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay, my pleasure. Because y'all know I'm 43. I got a good old vintage memory over here. Okay, vintage memory over here. Any other questions before we start loading? Thanks for having your camera on, Indigo. Hey, girl.
Hi. So can I just ask you a little bit more about the chase? I'm not sure if like you said, if it's like totally out of the scope of what you're talking about or not, but I did type in a question.
Mm-hmm.
And what did I say here?
It wasn't a question. You did say that I have a charge off with Chase. I want a business.
Yeah.
Personal, but now I'm thinking if I take the offer, they may never want to do business with me again. Chase is on the fence. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't. What I would proactively do when you call them is specifically ask them if that is going to impact you. Because here's the thing, if you're doing it on the business side by itself and you are not personally guaranteeing it, then it's possible that you would still be able to move through without having to worry about it. But if you have to personally guarantee that business need that you have, once you put your social in, they can flag you and say no.
And so with them, I mean, so they're up, so like it's 5 years. First I was just gonna let it drop off, but then Chase would still have it. So if I ever applied with them again, like it would not be settled. So it sounds like it would be better to take the settlement offer. Like, I mean, at least that would be better than letting it drop off, because it's 30% of the balance. It's like it's such a good deal, you know. It's like 400, almost.
Right.
It's
and
about
also keep in mind that you
can't
can't also ask.
Oh, shoot.
Right. And ask for manager approval for them to investigate if they will bypass it. American Express will never give you that option, but there are a lot of like secondary banks and things of that nature that will go ahead and offer you the opportunity to go ahead and still ask for like, hey, I had this situation. Like I had one client who went through bankruptcy with this secondary agency, and when she went through the bankruptcy, that account was settled and she wanted to go back to them. And I told her, you have to write a letter. So we drafted a letter up. She took it to the bank, and that particular bank, because she's, you know, in the town that she's in, they were able to go ahead and give her approval to come and get an account with them. Right. So there are workarounds, but I do want to tell you, Amex is a hard no. They don't care. Go to bed. Good night. Hey, Shamika, thank you for having your camera on. I think Melanie had her camera on as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Did you have another question, Miss Indigo?
No, I think basically
the name,
it
by the
sounds
way.
like, thank you. But it sounds like try to pay if you can, because it makes it a little easier to take off. Because I've heard some people say don't ever try to pay, but it's like if you want to salvage the relationship, it sounds like, you know, it's better to try to pay.
So I'm going to say this. A lot of people say don't ever pay it, but I'm going to give you, that's one situation, and I'm going to give you a second scenario. I had a friend who was trying to get a home. For her to get the home, the actual lender said, I need you to settle this debt. I need you to call them and settle this particular debt. We cannot get you the funding unless this is what you do, right? So when that happened, she called me and she was like, oh, but I want to do a pay per delete, and they're not working with me to do a pay per delete. And I gave her my method. I have an alternative method to try and get a pay per delete. But I also told her, your mind is in the wrong space, because you have a lender that's saying, I'm going to put you in the house as long as you pay this debt, because there is your debt to income ratio. They don't care that you have a collection on there. They don't care that you had a repo in there. They're caring that your debt to income ratio fits the number that they need to approve you for the house that you want. So if you're in that particular space, you're about to close the house, the lender is saying you want to do this, then you saying I'm not going to settle the debt is not beneficial to you because what you want is right here in front of you. You follow what I'm saying? But if it's a situation where you have time and you can negotiate, or if you're like me, when I break up with somebody, we broke up. I don't go back to you. If I leave you, I ain't coming back. Except for Capital One. I went back a couple of times.
Yeah.
But if you're a person that like, I don't spin the block 2 times. So if you broke that relationship, it's not necessarily going to impact you, then you can go ahead and say, you know what, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to settle it, whether they let me come back or not. But you have to figure out if that's something that you want to maneuver and what is the gain. If you're looking to close a house soon, if that's something that you're looking for, I will stress to my clients, let's get this settled because your debt to income ratio deny you from getting that home. Does that make
Thank
sense?
you. That makes perfect sense. Thank you
Great
so
question.
much.
Great question. Anytime. All right. So Mrs. Smith says, is opting out the same as locking secondary? Why I asked is because I'm opt out, but the bank's still able to see LexisNexis. Opting out is not the same as locking. You have to freeze. Granny says she always got that one person that always has access to her. Yeah, that one person, I married him, child. We just go together now. I don't even play in these streets. Okay, we go together. I gave him a mini him. No one got time. But I don't spin the block. I'm too old. I got bad knees. I'm 43. Nobody got time. All right. So while we're going to go ahead and set up this profile, this is the owner application. So you are creating the account. Yeah, my husband and Capital One. Don't talk about my business now, Mrs. Smith. So when you're going through the system, you can go ahead and log in your information. Now, one thing I want to point out, guys, is that the information that is available here for you, this information is what you're going to use to log into your profile going forward. So whatever email address you use here, that is the email address that you're going to use for whatever it is that you need. I'm going to show you when we get into the system how you can go into the system and make the changes. Now, if you are doing this for yourself, you do not have to put a company name there. You can leave it blank. It will automatically default to your first name. Once you guys are picking up clients and you want to do this as a business, it is completely okay. I will show you once we get into the system where you can change it from it being your name to your company name and where you can add your logo. Okay. Oh, that ain't it. I'm trying to make a password. All right. I like free. I like announcements. I like exclusivity. Okay. I don't know about everybody else in these streets, but I like it. So with that being said, when you are coming into the software, you are able to go ahead and click on email me any special offers, program updates, or resources. I highly recommend that you do it. You do not have to, though. It is something I like because I'm nosy. January, February, let's get into it. Okay. Once you get into this platform, you are able to go ahead. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure this is clear. You're able to go ahead and see how the system does business and how it expects you to do business, what's expected of you, what's expected of them for you to dip and do. Once you get into the system, I do recommend that you're reading it. I will not be covering it tonight, unfortunately. But once you click that box, I do want to point out that you will get this black bar up here. This is going to happen until you go into your email and you validate your email. Best practices, please do it within the first 24 to 48 hours. If you can do it in 48, that will be great. Okay. Mr. S, what's up, my love? What questions do you have?
Hey, how's everybody doing? How you doing?
Great.
Awesome. So I did have something going into when you're actually pulling the rounds, and you're going into round 3 or whatever round that you're going into. The previous rounds no longer are visible. Is there a way to still see them as you're proceeding on, with round 3, round 4?
So I guess I'm a little confused as to why you're saying it's not visible. Hang on 1 second. I am going to you know what? Let me pull out of this.
Maybe I'm just not
So
navigating it right. Yeah, or
that's okay, my
something.
love. So when you go to attacks, the attacks will be listed here, right? Now, once you keep going on, you may not be able to see it all on this full screen. If you click history, it will show you all of the letters attacks that you have selected for your particular client.
There you go. Yeah, I was trying to figure it out, and I was like, man, I know it's just something simple.
Mm-hmm. So you'll be
Mm,
able to see it here, but you would
got
have
it.
to click on the history tab. Now, my only concern is why would you be wanting to see the previous attack?
So as I'm going through either, figuring out what's been deleted or what's been updated,
Mm-hmm.
trying to look at their last credit utilization as far as like on their credit cards, I'll be able to pull the report,
Mm-hmm.
see it and see their utilization if they've been actually going down 10%. Each month they're trying to get it down under 20 to 15% on credit
Got it.
utilization, actually help them onto the 700 credit score.
Got it. Okay. So if so are you pulling the report? I guess that's what I'm getting confused. Are you wanting to see the letter you selected?
Or just because I was pretty much trying to keep everything organized, and I was trying to figure out how to make a database. And if the database is already there, then there's no need to make it. How to store, okay, this letter went out first, this letter went out second, this was the result of it. And then just, kind of stay on top of things. That was my
Gotcha.
train of thought.
Got it. No problem. But yes, the history will show you the letters that were sent out, when they were sent out, and then it only holds a certain amount of space. So that's why, to your point, you won't be able to see round one for that particular, or attack one for that particular client. Great question. Did you have anything else?
No, that was it for now.
Awesome sauce. All right. Thank you. Let me go ahead and jump back in over here. All right. So this is what the main dashboard, hold on 1 second. This is what the main dashboard looks like. When you log in over here, you're able to see up here, you can search for the client. You do have to, me see. Okay. You do have to put in 3 characters to pull up the client, or you can click on the client tab and see the information. We're going to cover that in a second. I like to tell y'all quick tips on getting drip money. Okay. That's quiet money that can be made without you doing a big push, a big pull, none of that foolishness. Okay. So we're going to cover that as we go through. Just keep that in mind. So on the dashboard, you're able to see the round, missing documentation, birthdays, and if you want to upgrade, you're able to upgrade. Now, here's where you can earn free credits. The free credit platform allows you to refer people to the system. You just click accept. Once it goes live, you will get your own code so that you're able to go ahead and give it out to people. So if you know other realtors that might want to come into the credit repair space, or truck drivers that this might want to be their second hobby because they know truck driver friends that ain't got no good credit and they want to help them, you can give them your link and you get extra credits for them signing up to the platform, right? So that is one way to do it. If you guys are in the platform, this is a no-brainer, easy way for you to get quiet money. If you go ahead and click on this option, you can literally earn commissions anywhere from $8 to $22 for every client that signs up for Dispute Panda. Dispute Panda pays you out every $100. And what you would do is fill out your name here and you will get your own unique Dispute Panda code. With that particular code, you can share it on your social media. If you guys have a link tree, you can put it on your link tree. If you guys have a bit.ly account, you can put it on your bit.ly so you can track how many people are signing up. This gives you the ability for you to make money. And what I personally do is on the 1st, the 15th, and the 30th, I make a post. It's getting close to the end of the year. People trying to small lay back and people trying to big up their credit. What you doing about it? You know what I'm saying? Click this link. Like, these are different things that you can put. You can put, if you're a more elegant employee, because I haven't used this, the Big Up Your Back is not coming until next month, but you can use one that says something like, hey, I know you have a dream or a goal to get that house, to get that car. How are your numbers looking, right? What's your numbers doing? And drop your link. This is a great way for you to make sure that people are clicking on that commission tab for you to go ahead and make money just off of them getting the credit dyno. Now, the perk is if they sign up for credit monitoring with Credit Dyno, and then they sign up with you for credit repair, you're actually going to be operating in the black. Why? Because instead of you paying $17 per round, every 35 days, you get a free round of attack, period. And then you're able to come back into the system and you're able to go ahead and get the $8. So you're up by $25 just by your client signing up for Credit Dyno. Okay. So definitely click the affiliate link while you're all on the screen so you can make some quiet money. This is the reports where you can see what's going on month to month for your account. Sorry about that. And then the other option is clients. So when you click on the client tab, you can click on active clients. You can click on inactive clients. You can also import any client. So if you are having issues, remember earlier I said click on the contact us tab. You can send them the information and they will be able to go ahead and support you with it. Okay. So if you're having a hard time pulling clients in from another platform, do not fret. You have the ability to get support to help. If you want to add a new client, you click on the new client tab. Give me 1 second. Okay. You click on the new client tab and you are able to go ahead and send the information over there and see, and sorry, you can load the client into the software when you click on the new client tab. When you click on letters, letters allows you to see the letters that have gone out for your clients. You can click on the mail guidelines tab. I like to cover this because a lot of people ask about using the system. So I'm going to tell you about me. I personally mail my letters unless I am traveling. If I am traveling, I will make the system mail my letters for me, but I am a control freak. I am the oldest child on both my mother's side and my father's side, okay? So I want to touch it. I want to stuff it. I pay my daughter to stuff the envelopes. Me, my daughter, my husband will pull letters, we'll stuff them and mail them out for the clients, right? So if you are using the software, the letter will go out same day. If you send it at 12 p.m. If you are sending it after 12 p.m., it goes out the next business day. Okay. The only thing that has a tracker is if you do certified mail. If you do first class, it's just like doing standard mail. Yes, Identity IQ is still the software that can be used to Mr. Smith in the chat. Absolutely. And so hang on 1 second. We're going to do this. All right. The next thing is the inbox. The inbox comes with the pro feature. With the pro, you are able to go ahead and actually send emails back and forth with your client as long as you give them access to the portal. The reports feature is something that I truly, truly love. So hold on, let me minimize some stuff over here. And I'm going to show y'all what it looks like. So the report feature allows you to see what changes has happened on your total company's profile. So it tells you how much debt have you gotten deleted, how much total deletions have you gotten across the board, and it's also telling you what increases or decreases you have. Sidebar, I love seeing this number right here, y'all, because I love having conversations about why people's credit score drop, okay? But you can also take this information and make it into a shareable post and share it on your social media. You can use this as talking points. You can use this as content. You can turn around and say, look at what our company has been able to get done within the last month, within the last 3 months, within the last year. You're able to kind of provide that information. Okay. This is also available on the client level. So when you have the pro version, you have the ability on the client level to actually get that. I get that and I screenshot it. I download it and I actually text it to my clients for them to see the changes that have happened on their profile. Okay. Subscription tab. The subscription tab is also a pro feature. That's where you can do your onboarding forms. You can do your sign up forms. You can do your payment forms. You also can integrate your merchant service on that platform. The training and contact tab are the training tabs here that takes you to everything. Again, for the new people that just came on, guys, please click on the training tab before you go anywhere. Click on free download and download the free images that you can for the guide. The guide is going to tell you what letters you need to pick, where you need to send them out, how frequently you're sending them out, and also how to dispute with the secondary bureaus. Okay. So that's what the training tab is. The contact us tab takes you to the contact area. Now there are two ways for you to get to settings. You can either click here and click on settings, or you can click on balances and it will automatically take you there. I'm going to go up to the profile tab. The profile tab is where you have your information in here. So again, if you guys are doing this as just personal and then you switch to business, you can update the information in here so that the system can use it. If you have add a picture in here, it's not going to show unless you have the pro. The pro is where they can see the picture when your client logs into the dashboard. Once you decide that you want this to be a company, you can add your company logo, your website, your email, your phone number, your support, your business address, and your contract, guys. You can also add your contract in here. If anyone, I'm going to drop the contract in the chat just to be safe if anyone needs it. It's also located in the community. If you guys need the contract, it's available there as well. But this is where you would go to add all that information. If you want to add a team member, because like for me, my daughter logs in. She don't got my login. No, ma'am. Because my login I use for a multitude of things. Okay. Not going to do it. But if you want to click on the team member, you can gift your children, your friends, your family, whatever, their login. And that way they can log into the system and they would be able to go ahead and do the work if they're working with you, or if they want to use the same platform but not have to get their own account, they can log in and do their own letter if that's what you choose to do. Just make sure that they paying what they weigh, okay? This affiliate link allows you to put all of your affiliate links for any of the credit monitoring softwares that you may be affiliated with. You can keep all of them on, or if you're like me, you can turn them off and make sure that the client knows the only credit monitoring software that you use is Credit Dino, or if you use the other ones, you put your link in there. When they log into the client portal, they'll have access to see the links that you are partnered with. The dispute option is where you can change the address to the actual credit bureau. So if you notice that you're having an issue with if you're having an issue with the letters coming back or something gets returned, you need to change the address, because the credit bureaus do have a total of like 15 different addresses. You can just come in here, change the address, and now the letter will be printed with that new address on file. You will know if it's changed. The letter will come back to you, so you definitely do not have to stress. Cool. The billing tab. This is where you can upgrade to the pro and see me on Thursdays and ask any questions that you may have. You can also add your payment information here, and you can also buy credits for you to go ahead and support. Now, while you're going through the system, one of the things that we notice is the subscribe and save option. We noticed that our most popular plan, people were loading $20 on or $60. So we did okay, cool, we got you. We're going to go ahead and give you 50% more if you do the subscribe and save. So I want to clarify, there are only 2 subscribe and save plans. So if you do subscribe and save for the $20 or the $60, it will pull that every single month. But if you come here and load, you're only going to get what you pay to what you requested. So you won't get $200 or $150. You're only going to get $100 for what you do here. Okay, I've had that question before, so that's why I want to check. If you want to disable subscribe and save, you would just click this disable box and it will terminate it. The invoices is where you can see your invoice. You can see your statements for what you're paying for Panda Pro and any statements to your clients. The activity tab is where you can see the attack, the mailing, the attack credits for your customer's file. Please be aware that if you have a husband and wife, because the credit reports are individualized, each of them would have to have their own profile. So even though they're married, okay, Gertrude and Bruce have been together for 15 years. Each one of them have to have their own credit monitoring login for you to be able to support them. And the credits goes by the person that has the profile. So Gertrude would have to have Credit Dino and Bruce would have to have Credit Dino. They cannot commingle their credits. It's assigned to that specific person. Okay. The integration tab is where you're able to tell the system if they do this, then load this. So for instance, I have an integration that when the client comes into my software and is added as a client, they get into my email sequence, and that way they can get the welcome message, they can get the sign up information, they get all of those things as soon as they come into the program. So they're getting an email nurturing, whether they're a lead or they're a dedicated client, right? That's something that you can do on the pro by using Zapier and either Benchmark, or if some people use Go High Level, right? You can have different systems that will help you do that. So that's it. And then this referral is the referral that I showed you on the main dashboard. So we have officially covered all of the information down the side panel. We've covered all of the setting information. Do you have any questions on what I just showed you right now? Okay, so I saw some questions in the chat. Miss Williams says, how to mail the letters out. I've been trying to mail them out myself. I will show you how to mail the letters out in a second so that you'll have accessibility to see it. I hope she's still here. I can't find her. Okay, hopefully she can catch a replay. I will show how to mail the letters out. Indigo said, I'm thinking I should only dispute debt with lenders I never want to do business with again. Otherwise, if I dispute and remove stuff without paying them off, they probably won't let me open an account again. So that's not always accurate. You can still dispute, because remember, the issue is the information valid? Are there any errors on the profile? Just because you dispute does not mean that you won't be able to work with them again. Some companies have it where if you settle the debt for less than what it's owed, then you won't be able to come back to them. And then other places have where if you don't settle the debt because it's an outstanding balance, you won't be able to come back to them. But that is completely separate from you disputing, because you disputing, there could be an error. Let's say that particular creditor says that you owe them $3,000, but you really owe them two, right? Or if that particular creditor says that you were late 15 months, but you were really only late 10 months. That is still misinformation. It is not accurate reporting, and therefore you have the right to dispute with them. So for me, disputing is not an issue. Dispute everything, okay? Everything. What you want to do is be very strategic and have a plan of action for the companies that you know you're going to want to pull back up on the block with them. Great question. But you don't have to not dispute with them. Disputing with them does not mean that they won't do business with you. How are we able to get the replay? Great question. Pull up on YouTube. Our YouTube information is there. Or if you go to Dispute Panda community, you can click on Dispute Panda Live, and it will actually take you to the past events, upcoming events, and visit your YouTube. Okay. And that way you can go ahead and dip and do. See, you can hear Dominique's voice, and you can see what's going on. Okay. So that's where you can catch a replay. Great questions, y'all. Hey, Mrs. Smith, what's your question, boo?
Okay. One of my when the Panda dispute for you, like say that some of the companies you wanna block, does it do the blocking for you as well?
Panda is only here to generate letters to go to the credit bureaus and the secondary companies, and if you have pro, to the creditors. They do not block anything. Any blocking that you have to do, you either have to go to that particular website or you have to write a letter. They do have forms for some of them for you to fill out.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, great question. Did you have another question for me?
No, that's it. I had them, but I forgot them. I need to write them down next time.
Or I told you, just go ahead and say I got a question. I'll let you pull up to the club.
No, I don't like disrupting because I might miss something. And yeah, I'm gonna write them down next time. I'll be prepared next time.
All right, no problem, no problem. And I do have a boot camp that's coming out. I'm gonna drop the boot camp list as well. It is based off of all the questions that I've gotten here. So the next boot camp is actually I think it's May 11th. May 10th and 11th. It's a 2-day boot camp. We cover personal and business credit, and you guys can come with all of the good questions. So I will drop that in the chat as well. So we are now at the point where we're going to log in my fake client. So hang on one second. Let me find my fake client so I can log them in. Hold on. Okay, so when you are going through the Dispute Panda software and you're loading your client in, I want you to pay close attention that there are specific space where there is a red star. That red star is required information, okay? This right here, the middle name, not required. Suffix, not required. Now, me personally, whenever I have a dad, a mom, a cousin, a brother, I will get the information if they're juniors, seniors, the 3rd, the 15th. I want it, especially when I'm knowing exactly what I'm doing with my client. I know which client's file I'm looking at, right? It is not something that is required. The only thing that's required is the first and the last name. Okay. Alrighty, and you're gonna put in the phone number and the last 4 of the social. Now, when it gets to the address, y'all, I want you to be very careful that you're putting everything on its designated line. So if there's a unit, if there's a suite or anything of that nature, it is completely okay. It is completely okay for you to click on that option when you are going through the unit. However, while you are going through the process, please be sure that everything is going on its designated line. So if the person lives in the city and state, you want it to go there because this is the information that's going to be carried over into the letter for your particular client. Okay. Now, if you guys have the pro, you would click this invite access button. It will automatically send the invitation to your client. So your client will be able to go ahead and sign their papers, upload their IDs, all of those good things. Okay. All right. So before we go into the IDs, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Okay. Let's talk about it. I'm going to drop it in the chat. As y'all can see, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. So I had a clean version of this, okay? And what had happened was I was out in these streets acting up. so so what ended up happening was it got deleted. I was out here traveling, acting crazy with my husband, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I got a class that I got to teach tomorrow, and I can't find this platform. I can't find this information." So I screenshot it, and it's in our training platform. So if you do not have the ability to download it now, and you guys are watching this on Zoom, on YouTube, wherever, you can go ahead and actually log in to the training tab and under how to add a client to Dispute Panda, credit repair software and get a free attack. That information is available. Why is this important? I'm about to tell you. I'm about to tell you why it's important. The reason that this information is important is because while you are going through and helping your client, there are supporting identifications that are needed. If your client lives at 1515 Mockingbird Lane, but their ID says 2303 Terrence Wood, you are not going to use that identification because the goal is to have one address, one name, one social, one date of birth, 1111, right? Is what you're wanting to find. So if the ID is not valid, pick something else. It is okay to use a passport. It is okay to use a birth certificate. It is okay to use a marriage certificate. You just want something that it fits in the column of identification. When it comes to the proof of address, if you are using a utility bill, gas, water, cable, resident bill, what is very imperative is that you're getting an updated bill every 60 to 90 days because we all know that the credit bureaus like to stallation. If you are going to have to deal with that, the best way to circumvent that is to make sure you're giving them up-to-date information. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. So any questions on the ID, guys, before I move forward? Any questions on the ID? Okay. All right. So now when we get into the system, Again, I want to trim the fat. We don't need to operate in the red. We're going to always operate our business in the black, which means we're always on the positive side, right? The goal is to get all of the identifications between 1 to 2 pieces of paper. That is the goal at all times. In order to do that, you want to go ahead and crop out what they don't need. So here's the thing. If the person send you a bill and there's a pass through, you definitely don't want to show the full bill. You want to crop out and give them just what they need. So you can crop, you hit crop and save, and it will only capture that piece of information, not all that long stuff. If you mail the letters yourself, is it to and from the credit bureau? I do not send my letters to and from the credit bureau. I sell it to the credit bureau. Because of the way my contract is worded, I personally have the return address as my business address. That is where most of my letters go back to. However, when I was not doing that power of attorney option, I would have the letters go back to the client's address. Is it a tactic that you can leverage to go ahead and have it go to the credit bureau and from the credit bureau? Absolutely. It is completely up to you as to how you want to do that. What I would say is just see how it works. I have a lot of friends that do that. I personally do not, just because of how my contract is written. But yeah, you can. It's not going to cause any harm at all. They do give you an option when you download the letters for you to actually have an option where the envelopes that you're putting down, the envelopes will say the credit bureau from and the credit bureau to. So it's completely okay. When you drop the ID, you want to go ahead and make sure you crop and save that as well. And then I am going to add the social security card because I have it here. But remember, there are only 2 spaces that are required. 1 and 2, boo. 1 and 2. Nenias. Okay. Just wanted to go ahead and give you that. All right. Let me see if I can find a dummy client. Give me 1 second, y'all.
Okay, sorry, I gotta come in for this question because it's about what you're talking about, right?
Okay. What's up?
Okay, so when I download the picture, sometimes it says not the size format. How do you get the picture down to the size format to get it in?
If you're having that error, I would definitely recommend doing a Loom video and sending it, because I never have that problem. When I download it, I've used JPEG and I've used PDF, and I've never had that issue. So I would say check to see what type of file you're downloading. Even PNG will work.
The pictures was like from my phone. I take a picture of it from my phone, and then I send an email to myself to download it in Panda, and then it still say this file is too big or
So
something.
So what I would suggest is if you're emailing it to yourself, save it on your desktop first. Save it on your desktop first and then upload it.
I've done that before. I've done that before as well. I'm gonna try again
And that
tonight.
didn't work?
If I have any problems,
Yeah, send a message to the back office, because you shouldn't have all of the IDs that you're seeing, the fake IDs that you're seeing here. I emailed them to my computer and it's saved under JPEG. Like the ID and the social security card are JPEGs and the bill are PDFs. And it just went in with no issue. So if you're having that problem, do a Loop video and send it to customer service.
Okay, thanks.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Great question. All right. So once I have that here, you guys will see at the bottom here, there is a green icon because I used Credit Dino. Okay. So I don't have to go when you're using all of the other credit monitoring softwares. You're going to have to either upload a file, or you're going to have to, if you're using Smart Credit, you're going to have to pull the H with Credit Dino. I don't have to do either. Every 35 days, I click the 1-click import and I get to the disputing part, right? I can then go to the next phase. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna show y'all what it looks like. So it will pop up and tell you that you have earned 1 free credit. Okay, you earn 1 free credit every 35 days. After you get this wonderful pop-up, it's also over here, y'all. Okay. Now, when you scroll up, the disputing option is open, because you can't tell it to attack if you don't tell it what you want it to attack. Okay. All right. Now, the first thing that I want you to recognize is that when you're looking at this client profile, they've been with me for about 2-3 months now. So negative items that are now still showing on the credit report, the system is going to automatically pick those negative items. You do not have to do anything at all. The system will pick it for you. Okay. Now, if you have, so to someone's point earlier was saying, oh, if I have a good standings account, but it's closed. So for instance, this account right here, if I click on this eye icon, it shows that the payment history has been 100%. The account is closed. The balance is 0. There is nothing selected because there is nothing to be disputed. Okay. Now, to the point, want to go ahead and have a discussion really quickly. If they have public records, it will also be here and the system will automatically select public records. Public records, bankruptcy, judgments, liens, that type of stuff will show up under the public records. The system sees that it's a problem and it will pull it in. For the inquiry section, the system will never select this for you. This is something you have to manually do. Here's why. You run the risk that if you select an account that is listed at the bottom, so for instance, this particular client, they have a Merrick Bank that is listed here. I'm going to search Merrick Bank. If I see that there's an open Merrick Bank account, I am doing Nathaniel Bartholomew Johnson Jones, nothing. I am not selecting this option because I run the risk of that credit card being closed. Now I've had the question, what if it's a what if it's a mortgage? What if it's an auto loan? Yes, if it's one of those things, by all means, you can choose to go ahead and run it. What I'm going to tell you is best practice. If it's a credit card or a credit line, you do not select that option because if you do, you run the risk of your client's account being closed because you are disputing the fact that that account was there. Okay. Crystal, drop fires in the chat if y'all understand, if it makes crystal sense. I want to know. All right. So you can go ahead and do Command F or Control F, and it will give you the ability to go ahead and search the clients to see if they have an open and active account that is listed below. If they do not, yes, it is limited to the inquiry to if it's not an open and active account link there, then you don't need to worry about it. You can go ahead and dispute it. If it's a mortgage, if it's a car loan, by all means, y'all can go ahead and do it. Best practice when it comes to credit cards, you do not click the inquiry at all. Once you have gone through all of their files, then you can go ahead and hit the save filter to move on. Now, I want to give y'all just a little bit of kind of what I go over with my clients, and I'm going to click this eye icon and we're going to talk about it. So for this client, we're going to start off with the summary. This account is open. So you're able to have a detailed conversation with them. You can see how many open accounts they have versus closed. You can have conversations about the payment history. So the payment history is worth 35%. We all know that, right, y'all? But let's take it deeper. 35% equates to roughly 192.5 points. That is what 35% equals to your clients. The baseline number for a credit score is 300. Once you're at 300, I call it a heartbeat. That means they know you out here in these streets. Before that 300 happens, you do not exist. Okay. So once you hit that 300, you're a person. And now how to get to the 800 and beyond club is by making sure you're checking these 5 boxes. The 2 primary heaviest weighted portion of your credit score is your payment history, which is worth 192.5 points, and your utilization, which is your account health, which is worth 165 points. So you take that baseline number of 300, you add it to 192, you add 165, and now you get where your client needs to be in these areas. Now, when I'm having a conversation with a client, I'm diving in. Your credit limit is 1,000. You're using 642. Let's talk about how you're making a payment because your utilization just on this card is 64%. So I would go through and look at all of the credit cards that the client has before my consultation. That's why I have a requirement to get your credit report before my consultation. I can't give you the best part of me if I don't have time to look at your credit report to give you this information. So best practice, if you want to be in the 700 club, your utilization needs to be at 15% or lower. If you want to be in the 800 club, your utilization needs to be at 7% or lower, right, guys? So when I'm talking utilization, it's the overall utilization of all the cards that your client has. So now we're going to talk about when are you paying versus when it's due. I don't care about the due date. The due date is the latest possible day you can make the payment before a late fee is assessed. That is what your due date is. Your statement date is when that credit card company is reporting the balance you have on the card. Best practice, pay that balance down 2 days before the statement is about to close. If you have a client that their credit utilization is above 100%, your conversation is going to be, I need you to make the minimum payment times 2 plus $4. That will give you the ability that when they circle the block again and had interest, you are not going to be over your credit limit again, right? So you're giving them the game on how to win in these credit streets. So that's just like a snippet of what I go over when it comes to the consultation. Wanted to go ahead and give you guys that. So again, if you guys are looking through here and working on a client, you can click on this eye icon and dive into what's going on with their report. You can see when they were originally late and be like, hey, love, what happened during this time? Oh, it was COVID, right? And have that clear conversation. Now, for the seasoned people who are out here and have dedicated letters that works for you, you can go ahead and type in the letter that you have. So like I have a charge off letter that requests the 1099 for me to find out what was the designation of that charge off. Because if you charged off the account and you told the IRS, you told the government that you weren't going to collect the debt from me and you weren't going to pursue it, then I'm going to get that information and I'm going to send it to the credit bureau so they can remove this debt off my credit report because you said you wasn't going to collect it no kind of way, right? So if I have a dedicated letter that I know works, I know I want it to go out, I can put that letter in, click use template, and then the system will generate that one creditor with my particular letter. If I change my mind and say I'm not going to do that 1099 till round 3, I just remove it and keep it going. Okay? But you're going to hit save filter and then you get to the attack round. Going back to the guide, guys. The guide is going to tell you what letter to pick each month without fail. I'm going to tell you the only thing that I change on this guide is for round 6. I always do the paralyzed touch attack. That is my letter. I've already told Dominique, I've told the crew, I love, love, love the paralyzed touch attack letter. Okay, that is my letter. Some sauce. But other than that, I follow the flow in the guide that they give us. With the first round, it's saying that it's supposed to be the Punch of Fury, Supreme Boosted. If I have the pro, I can send the letters to the creditors. Okay. I would have the static letters. I'm going to send it to the secondary bureaus. First round is going to go out handwritten. I am not doing a CFPB complaint and it is a first class letter. So I'm able to come back over here, hit start round, hit Punch of Fury, hit handwritten. I'm gonna show y'all how easy it is. If y'all are in the pro, you literally just click this box and it generates the credit letters for you. Simple. You don't have to do nothing extra. Okay, you click those 2 buttons. Bob's your uncle and your cousin at the same time. Okay, you type in confirm, you hit start round, and it will generate the letter for you. Now, for the secondary bureaus, you have to go back to start new round. You're gonna have to click on static letters. Because the first round is handwritten, I'm going to hit yes. And best practice, I scroll all the way down because it will segment out your secondary bureau. I hit Factor Trust, Microtel, DataX, Clarity, Credco, ARS, LCI, Innovis, LexisNexis. Those are all that are on the list. And as long as you have $1 in the account, it will go for you and generate. Okay. So we have just finished doing a round of attack. If we wanted to mail it out, we would simply click the mail out. We can do, it's supposed to be single-sided, so we're going to change it from single-sided. If you want it to be certified, you just click the drop down, click certified. It changes the amount and you can load the money onto the bill. I'm never going to do certified just to keep y'all for real. I like to be honest. I'm not going to certified. Okay. But you have the pricing point here. You can click pay and mail. As long as the monies are in the profile, you can do it. If not, just hit cancel. Go ahead and add the money and come back and mail out. If you do not mail this out, the system is going to register that you downloaded the letters. If you are going to mail it yourself, you have to click on the download box. If you didn't click on the download box and you didn't tell the system to mail out, all you did was do a round and nothing went anywhere. It's just sitting in the database. Okay. Just want to point that out. You can go ahead and see the letters that you sent, what the verbiage are per client. When you click on the history, it tells you the type of letter and it tells you who it got sent to. Then you can click on credit report. It tells you the credit reports that were done and it keeps track of the score for your client. The invoice, of course, is where you can see the invoices, and the notes tab is where you can keep notes. So for me, every single month, if I have a bankruptcy client, I'm sending out information to all of the secondary bureaus that hold the bankruptcy. So I will put that in the notes, send the information here. I had a client where I looked at her report and 2 of the secondary bureaus she did not have a report with. So I put that in the notes here. So when I went to go pull the next round of disputes, I did not generate a letter for those particular bureaus because the information is not available, right? So this is but this is a pro feature, just something that you can leverage. So as it stands, we have been able to load the client, get a free round of disputes, showed you how to dispute with the secondary bureau, showed you guys where the flowing guide was. What questions, concerns, or comments do you guys have with what we've reviewed so far? Any questions? No questions? Okay, guys. I'm here for y'all. Let me know if you need anything. Great questions today. Mr. Smith, I am sending you a message right now with the information because I definitely want to make sure that you get a wonderful free gift for participating. Shout out to Kimberly. I believe I said Kimberly Indigo. Hold on, I'm about to check y'all because I don't want to tell no stories here. Let me scroll back up. Indigo, Kimberly, Ariel. Wait, that's Cody. I want to say thank you guys for participating today. I did send you guys my email. Please send me email free lead magnet. I will go ahead and get it out to you. Shout out to Mr. Smith, did that as well. If y'all don't have any questions, I promise you I'm gonna give you back the rest of the day. I want to make sure I'm answering any questions that you guys may have. Any questions, concerns, comments before I let you guys go? Does it seem user friendly? Ooh, let's see. We have something in the comments. Oh, it is my pleasure. Ariel, thank you so much for emailing me. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. I want to make sure that I am truthful and get you guys out what you guys are supposed to have for the free 99. Can you please drop the link for the boot camp? Yes, I can. Hold on, let me find it. All right, here is the link for the boot camp as well. Oh, it is my pleasure. It is my pleasure to help. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, please let me know. Boot camp in the link in the comments, calendar in the comments, mentorship link in the comments if you guys have any questions. If not, we are here for free. Okay, y'all, for the free 99. So for the 1 hour, it's yes, my 1 hour consultation is $97. We work on whatever file you need or answer any questions you have. You actually also leave with some freebies for booking that call. I give you, well, it's bonuses. I shouldn't say freebies. It's bonuses for you booking the call with me because we talk about flows and we go over your particular file. So if there's specific things that you need to do on that file that you bring into the call, we're going to dive into them and make sure that you have them implementation and done by the time we close out in that hour. Any other questions, guys? No? All right. Well, it has been fun. Okay. want to say thank you for pulling up to Club Dispute Panda. David and I have been so honored to be able to stalk you on today. If you guys have any questions, concerns, or comments, please do not hesitate to reach out to me. It is our pleasure to help you. Can you email me the recording? No, I'm not able to email the recording, but the recording is going to be available on YouTube, and you can go to Dispute Panda at YouTube or go to the community and see the replay there as well. Any other questions, concerns, or comments? All right, y'all. Well, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you for being the best part of Dispute Panda. Y'all have an amazing night. Bye.
Bye, Raquel.